On page 3 of your practice test, notice on question 15, I want you to write this in radical form. You don't need to evaluate it. Well, since it got variables, it'll be kind of hard to evaluate, but you don't even have to do the numbers. Now, the one thing to notice on question 15 is notice the 32 is not in parentheses with the x. We're only taking x to the 1/6 power. So 32 stays by itself. And then we'll take the 6th root of x. We'll compare that with number 16. Notice all three of them are in parentheses. So I'm going to take the 8th root, because my index is 8, of 4y, z. And so we have to do with that question. Now on question 17, we have this application problem, but really I just told you what to do. It's just like evaluating a geometric sequence. I want to find P of 9. So we're going to say P of 9 is going to be 3,000 times 1.026. We'll raise that to the 9th power, and that would be the price. So we'll round that to the nearest penny. So we take our calculator out and we go 3,000, whoops, didn't mean to quit that. So we'll go 3,000 times 1.026. We're going to raise that to the 9th power. So it'd be $3,779.61. Make sure I copy that down correctly. Yep, that's it. Okay. Now on number 18, we want to graph this. So let's make a table, an XY table. We'll graph a few points. I like to do 0 when I see an exponent, because remember now I just replace my 0. In fact, I think I'll just do that to show you too. So I'm going to say 4 times 2 to the 0 minus 1. Well, 2 to the 0 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0, so my answer is 0. So I want to put a point at 0, 0. Let's do an x as 1. So I'm going to go 4 times 2 to the first minus 1. That'll be 4 times 2 minus 1, which is 1, which is 4. So I'm going to graph the point 1 and 4. So over 1 and up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do negative 1. So I'll go 4 to the 2 to the negative 1 power minus 1. Well, that'll be 4 times 2 to the negative 1 is 1/2. 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. So half of 4, that'll be negative 2 then, won't it? So I'm going to graph negative 1 and negative 2. Okay, let's try 2. And sorry about that, watching the game. Okay. So if we go 4 times 2 to the second power minus 1, well, 2 squared is 4 minus 1 is 3, so we take 4 times 3, which is 12. And that's going to be way off my grid, isn't it? Way up here someplace. Let's do negative 2 just so we can see what happens. So I'm going to go 4 times 2 to the negative 2 power minus 1. Well, 2 to the negative 2 is 1/4. 1/4 minus 1 is negative 3/4. So I'll get negative 3, won't I? So when you go to the left 2, I'm going to be down here at 3. So there is my graph. And hopefully it's going to start flattening out a little bit there. Okay, let's take a look at number 19. On number 19, I want to write the explicit because it says the nth term of this geometric sequence. So I'm going to say a to the n equals my first term. Well, my first term is negative 7. I better find my ratio. So if I take 1.75 and I divide it by negative 7, what do I get? 1.75 divided by negative 7, I get negative 0.25. So I'll say negative 7 times negative 0.25. Put my decimal wrong. So negative 0.25. And I'll raise that to the n minus 1 power. And there's your answer. Let's take a look at number 20. I'm going to write the first 3 terms of the sequence. Well, I can definitely see my first term is going to be 220 or 2.25. And then to find my second term, I'm just going to add 0.5. So I take my first term, I'm going to add 0.5 to that, I'll get 2.75. My third term, I'll add 0.5 to that, and I'll get 3.25. And there are your first 3 terms. First 3 terms are going to be 2.25, 2.75, and 3.25. I'll do the same thing on my next one. My first term is going to be 3.5. To find my second term, I'm going to take half of that and make it the opposite sign. So negative 1.75. My third term will be positive. I'm going to take 1.75, I'll divide that by 2. I can't do that in my head. So I take 1.75 and I'll divide that by 2. And you get 0.875. So my first 3 terms are going to be 3.5, negative 1.75, and 0.875. And there we have those.